If you're building a house in Nigeria today, one question comes up before every other thing else. That is flat roof or hip roof. And the moment you ask that question, everyone around you have an opinion. From your architect to your neighbor, to your contractor, and even that your uncle that built his house in 2009. The problem is, most of these opinions are based on trends, personal taste, or incomplete information. But in this video, I'm going to give you the full picture, not based on opinion, but based on facts, so that when you make your decision, you make it based on what is right for you, your lifestyle, your location, and your long-term plans. And I'm going to give you a third option, one that most people either overlook or misunderstand. And this misunderstanding is causing expensive problems all across sites in Nigeria today. So let us start with the full picture. Before we compare flat roof and hip roof, let me quickly run you through the full family of roof types. This is very important because it will make you understand everything I'm going to say and talk about roof. The very first one I'll be talking about are flat roofs. These are horizontal, they have clean lines and a modern favorites, and we'll be talking about them today. The second one is concrete slab roof. People call them flat roofs too, but they are reinforced concrete poured over steel rods. They can function as terrace, garden, or even future floor. The third one are hidden roofs. This roof is completely sealed behind tall parapet walls. Can it be the same as flat roof? Yes. But can it also be different? Yes. But we will explain this in a moment. We also have flat, low-slope sheet roof. These ones are timber frames with aluminum or zinc sheets. They are low-budget options, and also they have gutters and hedges that are completely visible from outside. We have pitch roof. This is the general term for any roof that slopes upward to a ridge or a peak. They are also shed roof, also called skill iron. They have one continuous slope, one tall wall, and one short wall. We have the hip roof. This one slopes downward on all four sides. They are stable, they are traditional, still very relevant in Nigeria today, and we'll be talking about them. Lastly, we have high pitch roof. These ones have steep angle and they make a building look grander. They even used to have attic in the upper space. Now, all of these types are dominated by two major ones in Nigeria today. And the third one is widely being misunderstood, and we'll be considering all these three. Now, let us talk about hidden roof and clear one misunderstanding that is all across Nigeria today. Here is the answer. A hidden roof and a flat roof can be exactly the same thing, but they can also be completely different. Let me explain. A hidden roof is defined by one thing and one thing only: parapet walls that extend above the roof line and conceal whatever roof structure is behind them from the streets. The parapet wall is an aesthetic and design choice, and it hides the roof. What is behind the parapet wall is the matter which is of concern. If the structure behind the parapet wall is a flat concrete slab or the timber one with flat roof, then yes, the hidden roof and the flat roof are the same thing. The parapet wall is simply a design wrapper. But if the structure behind the parapet wall is a pitch roof, then this is a completely different thing, because you are just seeing something else from the streets. What is behind the parapet wall might not be a flat roof. It could be a butterfly design. It could simply be a slope to one side, or just a single slight slope. So why does this matter? This matters because if you tell your contractor you want a hidden roof, assuming you will get a flat concrete terrace, you may end up with a pitch structure behind the parapet wall and might not have a usable space above. Different structure, different costs, completely different outcome. The question is not whether it is a hidden or flat roof. The question is, what is behind the parapet wall? Is it a flat concrete slab I can walk on? Is it a pitch structure? What is the slope? What is the drainage? Can I use that roof surface for anything? Ask those questions before construction begins, since the structure behind most hidden roofs in Nigeria are flat roofs. So in this video, I'll be referring to hidden roofs as flat roofs, except when specified. If you have been on Instagram or driven through any estate in Nigeria in the last few years, you would have noticed something. Flat roofs are everywhere. They are modern, clean, boxy, minimalist. They photograph beautifully. They look expensive, and social media has accelerated their trends significantly. Homeowners see a beautiful flat roof home on Instagram, show it to the architect and say, I want this exactly. Now, I'm not saying flat roofs are bad. They are not, but they are everywhere. And it is important to know the difference between choosing a flat roof for your own goal and choosing a flat roof because you see it on someone else's page. So let me give you a legitimate reason why flat roofs genuinely make sense. First, design flexibility. A flat roof gives the architect more freedom with the shape and exterior of the building. If modern architecture is what you want, then flat roof is what supports the aesthetic than other options. Secondly, functional space. A concrete slab flat roof gives you a usable upper space, a rooftop terrace, an outdoor lounge, a garden. Some homeowners essentially get a bonus floor for the cost of waterproofing and proper finishing. Thirdly, solar installation. A flat roof surface is significantly easier and cheaper to install solar panels on. You can angle them optimally anywhere you want, and you can access them for maintenance at any time. And the installation does not require drilling into the roofing sheets. These are real valid reasons to choose a flat roof over a pitch roof. But let us talk about what it actually costs you, because this is where many people get a very unpleasant surprise. Here is where I see the biggest misunderstanding about flat roofs in Nigeria. People compare the construction cost of a flat roof to a hip roof. See that the flat roof is cheaper upfront and then stop the analysis there. But building cost and total cost of ownership are two completely different conversations. So these are the few things you need to keep in mind when you are going for flat roof. Number one, waterproofing. A flat roof must be properly waterproofed. This is not optional. It is the single most critical element of a flat roof, and it is not a one-time expense. Waterproofing membrane have a lifespan. Depending on the quality of the material used and how well it is applied, you will need to inspect it, repair it, or reapply waterproofing periodically. If your contractor used poor quality waterproofing during construction, which they usually do, then it will cost you more over time, and you will discover this during the first rainy season, and by then, water has already started entering into your slab. Another thing are parapet walls. The parapet walls that give that your roof its clean modern look also needs maintenance because they can crack. They can also allow water to seep into the joints where the parapet meets the roof surface, and these joints must be properly sealed and regularly inspected. Next are drainages. A flat roof must drain, and this is something most people do not realize. A flat roof is not actually completely flat. Every properly designed flat roof has a slight slope built into it, usually between 1 to 2 degrees, to guide the water towards the drainage outlets. So if your contractor built a truly horizontal flat roof with zero slope, water will pool. And when water pools, it starts seeping into your structure, and this can cause serious structural problems. The drainage outlets must also be cleaned regularly because leaves, dust, and debris will always block them. So a blocked drainage also might accumulate water, and you know what will happen if this stays there over time? It is bad for the building and for the roofing. Now, the last thing to consider is the concrete slab misunderstanding. Not every flat roof can give you a terrace, and not every flat roof can carry furniture, people, or heavy equipment. Only a concrete slab flat roof can do this. We also have the flat sheet option, which includes the timber frame with zinc or aluminum sheet, but this cannot carry that load. So if you are imagining a rooftop garden or outdoor lounge, then you must specify this and budget this in whatever it is you are doing. This can be more expensive because it will require concrete slab roof, but it is the only version that can deliver what you want when you say flat roof. Although the concrete slab flat roof can be expensive, there are other options in the industry now, or should I say alternatives. First is the use of polystyrene. A thin layer of concrete slab is then poured on it. These are used. Secondly, you can use the block setting type where bricks are set into a frame Then, thin layer of concrete slab is then poured over it. For me, for safety, I'll say don't use this as a future upper floor. So the next time you are telling someone that you want a flat roof and thinking they are cheap, please think about waterproofing, parapet maintenance, drainage upkeep, and periodic reapplication of all this in the cost estimate. We've been talking about flat roof for this while. Do you think we've forgotten the heap roof? No. The heap roof has been the dominant roofing choice in Nigeria for decades, and despite the flat roof trend, it has still not gone anywhere. The heap roof is still there because it solves the real problem that Nigerian climate creates. Let's talk about some of these problems it is solving. Firstly amongst it is wind resistance. A heap roof slopes downward on all four sides. Wind hits a sloped surface from every direction, and wind load is distributed across the entire structure rather than concentrate on one flat surface. So if you are building a house in a very windy area, please consider heap roof, because a heap roof gives you the structural advantage that a flat roof will never give you. Secondly, the rainfall and natural drainage. Because a heap roof slopes on all four sides, rainwater is immediately directed away from the building. No standing water, no pooling. Rain hits the surface and runs off. This is why heap roof in Nigeria have a long-standing reputation for reliability when it comes to heavy rain, and that is when they are actually built correctly. Third is long-term maintenance. A well-built heap roof with quality roofing sheets requires significantly less maintenance than a flat roof. No waterproofing membrane to inspect and reapply. No parapet joints to monitor. The slope does the work naturally. This is why most people skip the cost comparison and just go for heap roof, because they don't have to come back over time. The long-term maintenance burden is completely not there. To be honest, there is a problem. And what is the problem? It is the solar panel or solar installation problem. Solar panel installation on a heap roof, particularly one covered with long span aluminum or zinc sheet, often involves drilling or punching the roofing material to fix mounting brackets. When those holes are not properly sealed, water enters, and this damage is often invisible until a leak appears months later inside the building. Even it has been said or noted that many installers climbs these roofing sheets and they spoil it as a result of stepping on it over time. So if you are planning to install solar now or in the future, have this conversation before your roof is built, not after that. A concrete slab flat roof eliminates this problem entirely. Panels sit on the surface, no drilling into sheets, then no puncture risk. Now let us put them side by side. That is flat roof, heap roof. No favorites, just honest comparison. The first thing we'll be considering is the construction cost. A flat roof, the one made with timber and covered with aluminum or zinc sheets, can be cheaper than a heap roof when it is built initially, but it offers no functional surface and no terrace. But for a concrete slab flat roof, that is typically more expensive than a heap roof, because you are essentially constructing an additional reinforced concrete floor, which can be used for other purposes in the future. For a standard heap roof, this sits between the two, because it can be more expensive than a basic flat roof, that is the one with the roofing sheets, but less expensive than a concrete slab flat roof when you consider everything. Let's consider performance in heavy rain. Both roofs can handle Nigerian rainfall when properly designed and properly built. Heap roofs can handle rain naturally through their slopes, while flat roofs handle rain through design drainage and a built-in slope towards outlets. Most flat roof leaks in Nigeria are not caused by the roof design. They are caused by poor execution, when the wrong waterproofing is used, or block drainage, or zero slope. And these are from the workmanship failure, not design failure. What about wind resistance? Heap roofs win here structurally. False slope slides distribute wind load more effectively than a flat horizontal surface. In high wind or coastal area, heap roof is still the best and safer to go for. When it comes to long-term maintenance, heap roof wins here, because when it is done properly, you do less active maintenance, no waterproofing membrane or any other thing to monitor. But flat Flat roofs require periodic waterproofing inspection, drainage maintenance, parapet joint monitoring. This must be done consistently, or the cost is going to accumulate over time and can be very expensive. Considering lifestyle and future use, concrete slab flat roof wins here because you can have a terrace, you can have a rooftop garden, you can have solar installation, and potential upper floor. A hip roof cannot offer any of these. And one more practical point is that a flat roof can be converted to a hip roof later if you change your mind. But a hip roof cannot be converted to give you a functional concrete terrace. And when it comes to trend and what is everywhere, you know what to go for, right? I think that is the flat roof because flat roof wins here. By now, you understand the differences between these two types of roofs, but you are still confused on which one to choose. Now, here's a framework that can help you. Answer these 5 questions honestly, and the right roof will come clear. Question 1. What do you want to do with your roof? If you want a rooftop terrace, a garden, an outdoor lounge, or optimal solar installation, you need a concrete slab flat roof. Be clear about this before you have any design done. Question 2. Where are you building? If you are building in a high wind area, or a coastal location, or an open land with limited surrounding structures, please consider hip roof for better structural performance in extreme weather. Question 3. What is your real budget? That is including maintenance. Please do not price only the construction cost. Ask your contractor to estimate annual maintenance costs for each option. A roof that is cheaper to build but expensive to maintain over 10 years is not actually cheaper. So do the full calculation before choosing. But in this situation, I will advise you to go for flat roof if you are not considering the yearly maintenance or future maintenance, because this can be cheaper than a hip roof. I mean a flat sheet roof, not the slab one. Question 4. Are you planning solar now or in the future? And will your solar panel be mounted on your roof? If yes, factor this into your roof decision before construction begins. Plan for solar when your roof is being designed, not when the solar installer actually arrives. Now, lastly, which is the question 5. How involved will you be in maintenance? A flat roof rewards an owner who inspects regularly and maintains drainage and waterproofing. But if you are a hands-off owner who just wants to check the roofing maybe after years, a hip roof is more forgiving and requires less active attention. Answer those 5 questions honestly and stop choosing a roof based on what the house on Instagram looks like. A bonus question which needs to be addressed is, which roof keeps your home cooler with this Nigerian heat? And here, the hip roof wins. The slope design creates a natural air gap between your ceiling and your roofing surface, and this allows hot air to rise and escape, keeping your living space cooler naturally. And the flat sheet with timber and aluminum is the worst because it has minimal air gap and your house will always be hot. The concrete slab roof sits in the middle because it absorbs heat during the day and releases it slowly at night. If you want to choose a roof based on weather, I suggest you go for hip roof. Now, let me leave you with these 5 mistakes I see most times, because knowing them before you build is the difference between a good decision and an expensive regret. Number 1, or mistake 1, is that most people choose a flat roof. They budget only for the construction and never plan for waterproofing, maintenance, drainage upkeep, and parapet repair. Then, the maintenance cost surprise them years later, and by then, it is no longer optional. Mistake 2. They assume any flat roof gives them a usable terrace. A flat roof with timber and aluminum sheets cannot carry any human traffic, garden weight, or outdoor furniture. Only a concrete slab flat roof can do this safely. Confusing the two can be dangerous. Mistake 3 is installing solar without planning at construction stage. Solar installers on hip roof with long span sheets often drill through the sheets to fix their mounting brackets. Without proper sealing, those entry points become leak points. Stepping on it spoils these sheets. So it is good to plan for solar when you are designing the roof, not after. Mistake 4. Building a flat roof with zero slope. This is very bad. Every flat roof must have a built-in drainage slope to direct water towards the outlet. A truly horizontal flat roof will collect standing water, and standing water will always find its way into your building. And just as I said earlier, this is bad. Mistake 5. Assuming a hidden roof is always the same as a flat roof. A hidden roof can be a flat roof, but only when the structure behind the parapet wall is a flat concrete slab or the one done with aluminum flat sheet and timber. But if it is a pitch structure, a butterfly design, or any other slope behind the parapet wall, it is not a flat roof. It just looks like that from the street. Always ask what is behind the parapet wall before you sign off any design. After everything we've covered, here is my honest verdict. There is no single correct answer between flat roof and hip roof. Choose a hip roof if you want structural durability, natural drainage, long-term maintenance, and strong wind resistance, especially if you are not planning a rooftop terrace and you are building in a high wind or coastal area. Choose a concrete slab roof if you want a rooftop terrace, a garden, an outdoor space, or the cleanest possible solar setup. Budget honestly, including waterproofing maintenance and drainage throughout the lifespan of the building. And if you want the modern flat look without committing to a full concrete slab, a hidden roof with the right internal structure gives you an exterior aesthetic at a lower maintenance burden. Just make sure you specify exactly what you want behind those parapet walls. Whatever you choose, choose it because it fits your goal, your budget, your location, and your lifestyle. Not because it was on someone else's Instagram page. I am the interior minister, and if this video helped you, please like it. It costs you nothing to do this, and it tells YouTube to show this to more people who needs it. Subscribe so you will never miss a video that could save you money on your building. And drop a comment below. Which roof are you going for? Flat roof, hip roof, or hidden roof? And why? I read every single comment. And until we meet again, bye for now.